Well, hi everybody, and welcome to, I suppose I'm going to call this Awakening with Craig. That's where we join together with some spiritual thoughts. Now, these are not like my normal programs, Coffee with Craig, where we look at the world at large and all those type of things and make predictions and so forth. Today, I'm going to share some spiritual thoughts, and some spiritual thoughts in particular for the month of October. Now, in our lives, everything follows cycles, just like nature has its cycles. And with each change of the seasons, also, there's a change of energy. And with the changing of the planets, there's a changing of energy. And when I look at my oracles and I tune into the spirit guides, they tell me there's a certain energy for the time that we're living in now. And although the world is full of a lot of chaos and a lot of troubles and problems and lies and things like that, I want us to focus on some spiritual work that we can do ourselves in this world at this point of time by reflecting upon what I want to think about today is the power of truth as it runs in our lives and how we can embrace it. And I want to reflect on the transitions that are happening in the world at the moment. At the moment we're in October, and October marks a profound transition in nature as it shifts from summer, from the warmth of summer, to the autumn embrace. The vibrant colours and the falling leaves remind us of the beauty of letting go, while the crisp air carries an energy of transformation. As the leaves descend, we notice fungi and mosses begin to flourish on the forest floor, symbolising renewal and the hidden growth that follows release. These natural changes invite us to align with the spiritual principles of Satya, or truthfulness, and it teaches us to live more authentically. This month also brings joyous celebrations. It is the time in the Hindu calendar, for example, of Diwali, the festival of lights, which symbolizes the triumph of light over darkness, the triumph of knowledge over ignorance, and truth over falsehood. The flickering lamps and the vibrant fireworks remind us to illuminate our inner world, to dispense darkness, and to embrace the light of wisdom. So Satya is one of the yams. They have the niyams and the yams in the ethical system and guidelines of Indian thought. And in yogic philosophy, it emphasizes living in alignment with the deepest truths and acting with integrity in all aspects of life. So practicing Satya involves being honest with ourselves and others, not just in avoiding falsehoods, but in living in a way that honors our true self. It's all about aligning our actions, our words and intentions with the highest values. So during this reflective time, listen to the guidance of your spiritual teachers and also your gurus. This is a time to listen, particularly within, perhaps to your spirit guides or your own inner voice or your own conscience, because we know the truth in our hearts, but we forget it sometimes. So their wisdom, the wisdom of the external teachers, can often help us to navigate the paths of our true nature. They may encourage us to see beyond the surface, beyond the lies, beyond the deceits, beyond the horrible things that happen in this world, and align ourselves with the higher purpose of life. So October's energy encourages to strip away the masks we wear. Just as the trees shed their leaves, revealing their true form, we reflect on areas where we may be living inauthentically. Whether it's due to social pressures, perhaps fear of judgment, or a desire to please others, we strip away the illusion now. Think of this period of time, of a time when we can strip away all falsehood. Consider how these false, like they call them personas, false mask, may be limiting your growth and fulfillment. Align your actions and words with your true self, even if it feels vulnerable sometimes. Vulnerability is nothing bad to be vulnerable sometimes. Trust the guidance of your inner voice and the teachings of your guru. These serve as a reminder to embrace who you truly are and go beyond your normal expectations. In each of us, we are great beings. We are beings of light. We are invincible. But we cloud it all with these illusions, with this persona, with this feeling we have to be someone or be something or be important, and all the faces and masks we put on. But we let go of those because they no longer resonate with us. Let's let go of them and become who we truly are. Do we have the courage to do that? So we think about truth, and when you think about it, most people don't want truth. They want to live in an illusion. They want to stay asleep. They don't want to have knowledge. They say they do. They say they want truth. They say they speak the truth and want to hear the truth. But most people hide from truth, don't they? Like when people come for readings and want to know about the future, do they really want to know about the future? Or do they just want to know the future's going to be all right? You know, do you want the truth, or do you just want to know what you want to hear? And this is half the problem in the world, isn't it? That we are not truthful with the world. We're not truthful with ourselves. We don't embrace truth, either with a lowercase t in the normal things of daily life, or the great big T of the truth of the universe. When we start to embrace and come close to the idea of truth, often the first reaction is fear, because truth threatens us in some respects. Truth threatens our illusions. Truth threatens our misconceptions. Truth threatens our beliefs. Truth scares us to the very soul sometimes, because it also threatens our ego, which is built on lies and illusion and delusion. So when we come across truth in life, we have to be quite brave. We have to be quite strong. We have to be able to prepare things, even if it goes against what we would like it to be. And we wondered, is the universe benign, or is it some terrible place that's going to engulf us? And if we want to know truth, we have to face both the light and the darkness to know the real truth. And that might mean very often throwing away illusions. And we all live in illusions. We all like to think that this comfortable world we see all around us is all there is, really. We might think about some fantasy world that might lay behind things. But, when we look at the vastness of the universe, the scale of it, and how tiny we are, it can be very, very scary at first. And it can throw some people into a sort of a fear and a rejection and hide away in beliefs and illusion again. This is often people hide in religion, so they can't find the truth. But as they say, the truth will set you free, because ultimately we know that other people, other spiritually minded people, other great saints, other great teachers, avatars, Christs, all of them, all of the beings that have gone before us, we know that others have found that truth and come back and said, hey guys, it's wonderful, it's bliss, it's joy, it's infinite bliss, it's what you need to know, but come on, wake up. And Buddha said, the only difference between me and you is that I'm awake, and that's the only difference. And I think that's what truth is, surely. It's awakening. And when we find truth, I think we have to then live by it, because we might have a momentary illumination, perhaps. We might have a blinding light on the way to the road to Damascus, or whatever you have, however way it affects you. But sometimes we slip back into ignorance. It's not an overwhelming thing that stays with us all the time. I think when we find and get a taste of truth, it is sometimes temporary. We might see something beautiful, for example, and we get that moment of that oceanic feeling when we think, wow, look at this world. And for a moment, it all kind of slips into place. And in complete simplicity, we suddenly understand the whole of nature, the whole of the meaning of existence. It's there. It's self-evident. And then next thing we know, we've fallen back into the world of sleep, where we become a sleepwalker again, and we've fallen away from the truth. And every now and again, we get nudged back onto the path. So when I suggest we use this month to think about Satya, let's include it in our daily routines, our interactions. Let's try to be as truthful as possible with ourselves, most importantly, and with others, which is also important, of course. And to consider each day as a game, really, an illusion, a stage that we walk upon. And can we find in each moment, in each interaction, the truth? You know, when we start thinking about it and observing it, we might notice how people are lost in their lies. We might notice, perhaps we get over suspicious, but we might start noticing when a person's being truthful to themselves, who is honest and who is not. So let's practice like small acts of authenticity. Whenever it's an opportunity to bring the truth out, let's do it. Let's have the courage to do that. I have to do that on this channel very often, don't I? I have to say things that I know might lose me a lot of followers because I'm saying things that some of you don't like. And sometimes it's offensive, but we can't cancel truth, can we? We can't just switch it off and say, no, I'm not having that. I don't agree with that. Therefore, it's just out, out. I'm not even going to consider it. That's what people do now. We're in this cancel culture today, aren't we? We're in this cancel culture where truth is the last thing we want. We only want things that align with my truth. We only want things that align with my feelings. We only want things that align with my view of the world. We're not prepared to think there may be another way. So truth is a difficult path because truth requires us first and foremost to be truthful with ourselves, to accept that in ourselves we're full of faults, to accept that life might not always be joy and bliss, but we're going to have difficulties in life and hardships to face in order to find that truth. The knowledge of truth doesn't come through so easily. It comes just like a sword of truth. The sword often is a symbol of truth that cuts through the nonsense. And that sword is made in the fires and it's hit on the anvil to make it sharp. And it's used in battle. And that battle is also with ourselves. That battle is with the ignorance within ourselves and the ignorance within others, but also is wielded with love, because truth walks hand in hand with love. It has to, because of that, actually, is it not the ultimate truth behind it all? When you ask the questions on any question you might ask, the answer is usually something to do with love. What is the meaning of life? Love. What is God? Love. What should I do in this situation to solve it? Use love. People like John Lennon, people like Jesus, people like Buddha, like all of the great saints and teachers of the world, they all come to that ultimate conclusion, love is the answer. So now what is the question? And truth is the way to understand that love. Okay, well, I hope you found that interesting. I just thought I'd share I suppose we call this inspirational thinking, inspirational talking. It's what we used to do in Spiritualist Church, just talk and see what comes. And I felt for this month, I wanted to talk about truth and how we can use it. So, okay, just thought I'd share this one with you today. Do please always, if you enjoy my channel, always give us a thumbs up. Always, if you're here for the first time, subscribe and so on, and share it and so forth. And we put on this channel all sorts of different videos from all sorts of different topics and things like that. Some contentious, some just about the nature of being human. And what do you think about truth? What is your truth? Put it in the comments below. Do you think belief gets in the way of truth? Do you feel you found truth? What is truth? It's another big question. Anyway, thanks for joining us. See you soon. Bye for now.
Is death the end, or does a new world await us? In my book called What to Do When You're Dead, I examine the evidence for life after death. Drawing on the insights of spiritual traditions, the latest scientific research, and my own work as a psychic medium, you are shown what the afterlife is really like. What happens after death is so unspeakably beautiful that our feelings and imagination cannot come close to expressing it. At death, we enter a world filled with magical light, ethereal sounds and magnificent landscapes that are beyond anything we have ever experienced. As we enter this dimension of the multiverse, our surviving consciousness opens to a state of blissful being that is incomprehensible to the narrow awareness of earthly life. We will all be going there, so isn't it time you read the manual to find out what it's really like? The book, What to Do When You're Dead, tackles the big questions of life, the reason for death, and the final purpose of existence. Its aim is to help you to overcome the fear of death by preparing for the afterlife. What you'll read is not fantasy or religious belief. It's based on verified information revealed through spirit communicators and from those who have had near-death experiences. It is complemented by the mystical teachings from multiple spiritual traditions and ancient teachings. You will come away with answers to many questions and gain insights about what it's like to die and awaken in a new world. The book explains that we are not the body and that after death we can travel in a body of light. The book will challenge you and I hope also inspire you to investigate the wonders of life after death. What to Do When You're Dead is available now through Amazon or my website at psychics.co.uk.